Big fight just got announced. Looks like we're going to be getting Edgar Berlanga versus Hamzah Sheeraz. I'm excited to see this one, okay? I think this is a great fight from a lot of perspectives. Number one, from the perspective of the fans. Like, we're going to get a good fight. Both of these guys are going to show up. Edgar Berlanga is going to go out there and try to make a show-stopping performance and put his flag in the ground getting after this fight. That's number one. Sheeraz has to look good. After what we saw in his last one, okay, the way people felt about it, all the buzz and all the buildup that was going into that, and then for him to turn around and do what he did, he needs to go out here and get a big fight, okay? I think it's big for the fans because we're going to get to see things. I think it's big for both guys because this is like a make or break fight for both guys in a lot of ways. Now, I know some people are going to balk at that a little bit because you're like, hey, both these guys are relatively young. We're not going to be turning around and seeing the end of somebody's career. But when you look at where both of these men are, and you think about the fact that if either one of them get a loss, what are they going to be looking at for their next 2 to 3 fights? Okay, everything that's going on with him, all of the buzz. You had the fight with Canelo for Berlanga. Then he comes back with his, gets his first round knockout in a little speed bump, road bump type fight that he has. Now he comes out here and he's fighting Sheeraz. Okay, he needs to win this fight. If he loses this one, nobody's going to be motivated to fight the guy. He's not going to be looking at getting a title shot. He needs to get this win. And for Sheeraz, it's the same thing. Now, he doesn't have the Canelo on his resume. He doesn't have quite the buzz that we see with Edgar Berlanga recently, but it's the same thing in the sense that he can't afford to get a loss. When you look at the way your career trajectory is supposed to go, you're thinking about getting big name fights, money fights. I want to be a pay-per-view guy. I want to fight the best names out there. I want to get title fights. You need to get these wins, man. People got a bad taste in their mouth after his last fight. And then on another level, personally, just going into this one, looking at it, I think Edgar Berlanga is going to get the win, and I think it's going to be a great fight to give him a little bit of experience to try to handle somebody like Caleb Plant. Okay, because what we see from Sheeraz is a guy who can move around on the outside, fights on the outside, fights long, good jab, educated left hand, straight punches. A lot of those things are going to translate to what we see from Caleb Plant. Now, do I think his left hand, Sheeraz's left hand, is as quick or as educated as Caleb Plant? No. Do I think he's as light on his feet that he can move around and get the angles and turn guys and everything? No. So it's not exactly the same, but it's going to be the closest thing that Edgar Berlanga's ever fought. So if he goes in there and he's able to back up Sheeraz, if he's able to trap him against the ropes, if he's able to counter that jab, if he's able to close that distance and get to where he wants to get on the inside, those are all going to be things that he's going to be able to take and use in that fight against Caleb Plant. And I think that's what's going to happen, okay? Sheeraz fights very, very well from the outside. You see that jab, you see those punches, you see the way that he moves around, tries to keep the distance and the angles and everything. If he's allowed to do what he wants to do, he could go out there and he could embarrass Edgar Berlanga. But the thing is, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Berlanga is going to, end of the day, 3, 4, 5, 10 fights from now, we're going to look back on this man's career and we're going to say that he improved greatly after that fight with Canelo. I think he learned a lot about himself. I think he learned a lot about what it takes to fight at the highest level. He was still a young dude. He didn't get physically beat down. He got dominated and embarrassed to a degree. One round maybe, but he didn't get physically destroyed. It didn't knock years off of his career or anything like that. He's going to take from that and he's going to get better. And I think it's going to do, in a way, I'm pumping the brakes a little bit here, but in a way, it's going to be like what we saw with Canelo Mayweather. Canelo was a far better fighter after he got whooped by Mayweather. And I feel like one of the things that it helped make him better was that it made him realize who he is and what he's supposed to do and the way he's supposed to, his fight style and the way he's supposed to conduct himself in the ring. I think that's what we're going to see with Berlanga. And in that regard, I think Sheeraz is going to be tailor-made for him in a way. Because I think that if you take away that jab from Sheeraz, he's done. You take away that jab, he can't do anything else. And I think Berlanga will be able to take away that jab. He's going to come over the top with a right hand. I think he'll punch with him. Maybe he'll counter it a different way. Maybe he'll try and get inside of it and go with a left hook to the body or something. But the man can punch. And that's what it's going to take. Berlanga is going to get in there with an explosive movement. He's going to land a very hard punch, which is going to take away the jab from Sheeraz. And after that, it's just going to be a matter of time before the fight's over. So I don't want to make it seem like Sheeraz isn't a talented fighter. The man's incredibly talented. The man can go out there and he can do a whole lot of things. But I think in this setup right here with both of these guys at this point in their career and the way these styles match up, bad look for him. So I think Edgar Berlanga is going to be able to come out with the victory. I think it's going to set up a really nice match down the road for him and Caleb Plant. Let me know what you guys think. Am I underestimating what Sheeraz brings? Am I overestimating what Berlanga is going to pull from that fight with Canelo? Let me know what you guys think.